If you're having suicidal thoughts or feelings or feel like you have no hope, please call 988. There, you can talk to someone who not only cares about your story, but cares about you. Please reach out today. Thomas P. Murphy once said, "Minutes are worth more than money. Spend them wisely." At Minutes Wisely, we take that to heart. Our mission is to decrease veteran suicide by providing life-changing experiences for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. We believe that we can make a lasting impact by rekindling a sense of purpose and fostering community through sponsored tickets to sporting events. These experiences are not just about the game, they're about the moments that can change lives. A simple sporting event can boost joy and instill a sense of renewed hope and purpose for those who have served. Join us in making a difference, become a moment maker, and empower a veteran with rediscovered hope. Visit minuteswisely.com for more information and to get involved. Together, we can make every moment count.
Hello, guys.
Welcome back to another episode of TSP. It is, well, will be Sunday, March, whatever. It's the end of March.
Maybe? I don't know. Something like that.
And guess what?
25th.
Well, when it
No,
goes,
no. This goes live on Sunday, so it's going to be the 20th Sunday.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
baseball season starts in 2 days, Thursday night. I'm super excited for baseball season.
Go Sox.
Yeah, so before we get started here with Brad, I'm here to beg you. Do you know a RV dealer? We want to take this show on the road.
We do.
We are looking for somebody that would be so kind to donate an RV to a veteran nonprofit. We are a C3. We do a lot of great things in the veteran community, send veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members to life-changing events, i.e. NFL games, NHL games, MLB games, you name it. And we're branching off not just sports. We're going to do concerts and dives and fishing.
Scuba diving, fishing.
We're going to do all kinds of stuff. So we appreciate your help. Other than that, Andrew, how you doing today, pal?
Good, man. I'm really happy to see you, Fleek, and I'm glad you're looking so vibrant and filled with life today. And I'm just proud to know you. I'm proud to know you as a co-host. And I just want to say I'm proud of this podcast because we're getting a lot of people are talking. Like I'm talking to some other people and they're like, "Hey, did you hear about this TSP, the Scuttlebutt podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of heard of it. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about." And
Matter
we'll
of
get
fact,
the word out, man.
good stuff.
And I guess that will just lead into what I'm going to introduce Bradley. I've known Bradley since my coming home from my first deployment in 2005 from Karma. 6 months of hellhole, and I came directly to the Teak fraternity at Rollins College in Winter Park, Florida. And I met Bradley. And Bradley, you can actually, I'm not going to tell that story because you're going to tell that when we start talking to you because it sounds better coming from you than from me. But Bradley is my fellow fraternity brother, Zeta Phi, do or die. We're also fellow Freemasons as well. So Bradley and I have a lot in common. And Bradley's story, I found out the past couple days. Here we share a lot of similarities in our life. From Massachusetts to Florida to being a veteran to being a Teak to being a Freemason to I'm gonna let him explain it, but
Hey, gentlemen, thank you very much, Fleek, and thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, my name's Brad Rubash. I'm a former petty officer, second class, retired medically in the U.S. Navy, the world's finest Navy. And what is it? Semper Fi, the Fidelis is always faithful. Semper Fortis is always courageous. And then the Coast Guard has what? Semper always prepared, right? Yeah. Yeah, the Latin coming through right there. The room temperature IQ. So Brad Rubash, Petty Officer Second Class. So my Navy enlisted rating in the Navy was Master at Arms. So I was a Navy police officer, and I was fortunate enough to immediately be selected for K9. I was what's called a pipeliner, and I didn't have to pay my dues because I interviewed so well, and I was a little bit older going through my A school. I was 27 when I enlisted. Yeah, same age, right? Yeah, it was a big step. I was like, God, do I want to enlist? I'll be 47 when I retire. And I'm glad I did it. I don't regret a thing. Mostly born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My father's an orthopedic surgeon, a professor at Harvard Medical School. My mother's a teacher of learning disabled children. And before I joined the Navy, I was fraternity brother, college state champion swimmer, football player. I was recruited for football. Didn't end up wanting to do that, but I missed the Olympic trials by 4 seconds in swimming. That's what I tell people. Yeah, which is a lot in swimming, but if you quantify it that way, you can sort of that makes me feel good when I say I was a decent swimmer. I was Division II. It wasn't anything crazy, but eighth in the state of Massachusetts. Yeah, eighth in the state individually for freestyle. So that one day I was the eighth best in the whole state. So that felt pretty good. And then we did win the state championship, 57-0, and we've won the state championship 10 years in a row. My friends and I joined the swim team in high school, and all my friends freshman year got these rings, and I was like, "Hey, man, Matt, and Trevor, what do you got to do that? You got to make your state cut." I'm like, "What's your state cut?" And I was playing basketball. Fuck basketball. I hate basketball. I'm 6 foot. I'm 6'8". I'm 6'8". I was 220 and 220 in high school, and got down to 208 swimming weight, but just loved it. And that turned into college. I walked onto the swimming team at Rollins. I was accepted before the coach even knew my name. Or no, I take that back. I think I'd applied before that, but he didn't shepherd my application through the process. But my first college roommate was Graham. He was a baseball player prospect, and this guy could throw the ball through me. I played catch with him once, but the baseball coach quit like the summer of. He didn't even make the team. So I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, college, peak fraternity brother, outdoor club member, 5 year super senior, anthropology major, took everything very seriously. It was amazing, man. My mentor, Dr. David Butler, was a state archaeologist, and I got all A's in his class. Boosted my GPA and found some other interests. I wasn't learning anything in college, really. That's what I said. I was doing I was very good at that. Once I learned I was very good at that, I didn't want to do it anymore. Because that's what I say when I drink. I'm like, nah, I'm too good at it. I learned that I'm good at drinking, so I want to do something else.
That's funny.
Yeah. So then after college, sold boat parts, sold cars, and I tried to go to OCS in 2009 for the Marine Corps. And I was there for 6 out of the 10 weeks, or 6 out of 12 weeks, I think. And, this is my first military experience, and I just fucked it up. I was an A- test average. I loved the Marine Corps, OCS. It was fun, but it wasn't supposed to be fun for me. I guess I was smiling too much and just having a blast, and so didn't know how to really or behave myself really. And
Composure.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't
It's
know
the
what it
officers
was.
are, dude. Those officers are all about composure. All of them.
Yeah, no, it wasn't composure, but it was someone snitched on me, and then my sergeant instructor grabbed me by the throat, and he said, "If you ever touch someone again, I'll pull your intestines through your asshole." And he said, "You'd believe me, right?" I said, "No, I don't believe you." And I could have got him in trouble, but you don't want to snitch on your instructor. But so I tapped this guy on the shoulder. I said, "Hey, man, calm down." This is 2009. Summer of 2009. Yeah, they do the PLC, Platoon Leaders course, which, if you've ever read a good book, you want to read a good book, One Bullet Away. And then that leads into Generation Kill. Those two books were Those two books were written sort of simultaneously. Nathan Fick, Lieutenant Nathan Fick, who I had the pleasure to meet fly fishing actually. And this was while I was in the Navy. I met him fly fishing in Pennsylvania. Really good guy. He's a headhunter, a head of a headhunter corporation or something like that. He went to Yale. No, he went to Dartmouth.
Hanover, New Hampshire.
Yeah, Dartmouth. So, civilian world didn't wear well. And I just, I said I was bouncing at the Wild Horse Saloon in Nashville, living for $400 a month in my bachelor pad with 3 other dudes. And I said, I'm just going to enlist. I walked in the Air Force recruiter. They were doing the sequestration, and they did not accept anyone with a prior attachment. So that was no Air Force for me. Then walked in the Army recruiter and told them the story, and they didn't take me. And then told the Marine Corps story to the Navy. And then Chief looked at me, he's like, you seem squared away. Navy's about second chances, buddy. Welcome aboard. Those are her exact words. They didn't even make me write anything. They didn't even make me write a statement.
Was he
anything? What? No, this was a black woman. It was a chief of the, I guess I had composure enough, more so than the average recruit coming through the Nashville recruiting office on Henderson Pike. And, they were glad to have me. My recruiter didn't do me dirty. I told her exactly what I wanted to do. And at MEPS, they always offer you corpsman. And I thought, the Marine Corps was corpsman because I knew what a corpsman was. But, I wanted something different. I wanted canine, to be honest. I knew about canine. And that's the first thing that's right across the job description when you read Master at Arms. So Master at Arms boot camp, that was fun. So I picked Master at Arms. Master at Arms, the automatic because I had a college degree. Boot camp, I was the educational petty officer. So they wanted me to be the RDC, the recruit division commander, but none of that. Then I went to San Antonio it's called A School, apprentice school. And then the very first day of A School, I met a guy who was in K9. And his name was Glad. His last name was, it's killing me right now. I can't remember his name. Yeah, it'll come to me in a second. Yeah. And the chief, and this is middle of the night, and I guess he was getting his orders taken care of at the A School. He was on duty or something. So I chased him down, and I eventually ran into him on the bus going to the exchange. And I said to him, hey, dude, how do you get into K9? And told him my story. And then he's told me basically what to do. Don't get in trouble first and foremost. And I didn't get in trouble. And then there's a board at A School where they say, hey, who wants to go canine? And then 10 of us stood up. And, they take you in a room and they interview you individually. And I was one of 2 selected for the 2 billets that are going through every course. And then dog school. I was the one guy who got selected for canine with me. He was dropped because he went off base during his duty day. And lost canine, yeah. So he got
Not
shipped.
a good day for that guy.
No, he got sent to mast, derated, and I met him in Naval Station Norfolk actually. And he fell down the ladder well, and he was medically retired from the Navy. Best thing that ever happened to him too.
Wow.
These are brutal, by the way.
Yeah. What?
Those
ladder wells. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the ladder wells, knee knockers, and I still have probably a traumatic brain injury from a submarine angle iron and just hit myself when I was on the ship.
Well, dude, you're 6'8". Like, seriously, are you going to fit into a submarine? Really?
Yeah, I've been on many. I had to inspect them with my dogs. I'll get to that. Get to that. Well, you got to lead me up to it. So dog school was okay. Pissed off everyone.
dogs.
So the Navy has at dog school. Do you want the detailed description? So at dog school, they have some German-haired, short-haired pointers. They have some pointer dogs, but all the dogs that the students use are they're like medical drops. They're considered training aids. They're not actually considered military working dogs because they have medical issues. One dog had a heat casualty, heart murmur, and they've been isolated from the system, and they're used as training aids at Lackland. And so Belgian Malinois, German Shepherds, there was one large Dutch Shepherd, and then German short-haired pointers, Labradors, but my group only had Mals and German Shepherds. And you get 4 dogs at dog school, and you have to certify on 2 of them through obedience and then detection, patrol and then detection. And then then that's it. Then you get your orders cut to your first duty station, and mine was Naval Station Norfolk. Checked in right after Thanksgiving in 2013. I was right before the shooting that happened in March. Have you guys heard about the shooting that happened in March 2014? My first, yeah, vaguely. So somebody tried to get on a destroyer, and he stole one of the watchstander's weapons and
Yes.
killed one of my buddies. Do you remember? Do you
Sorry.
remember hearing that vaguely?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Vaguely.
Vaguely, yeah. So my first, and I just made third class, so I'd been promoted. While I was at A school, I took the test because I was shit hot compared to everyone else. So they let me take the advancement exam. So I made it E4 as soon as my boots hit the deck, basically, for 2 months later. So I get a phone call in the middle of the night, and my kennel master's like, get to the kennel active shooter, and called her 6 times while I'm on driving into the kennel. I lived on base, and I actually did not move off of base. I could have, but driving into the kennel, I'm like, where the fuck's the shooter? And run in. I'm holding a baton. I had an extra baton. I run into the police station with the baton in my uniform, and this guy's like standing outside the police station. I'm like, what happened? He's like, I can't tell you. Oh, get into the police station, go get my gun, get my dog. Someone else comes, tell him to go get the M4. My M4 card had expired like 2 days prior, so they wouldn't give me an M4. I said, hey, can you give me an M4? They're like, no. I'm like, for the active shooter, you're going to just give me a pistol? And I guess they had already heard that the shooting was over, so they wouldn't give me an M4. But anyway, so lights and sirens to the pier 1. And my kennel master was there. And the canine squad's like considered the higher echelon guys in the military police department, basically at Norfolk. So we had two MAs who had been deployed, and they were all already there, and they had handled the situation. A guy basically ran through the gate at Norfolk, drove to the ship, stole one of the, like, talked his way past the pier sentry, ran up to the quarterdeck of the destroyer, grabbed a female's weapon, and then by that time someone was chasing him, Mayo, and then he turned around, shot Mayo, and Mayo got one into the face, and got a medal for that. And then the topside rover on the ship took him out, took the intruder out, and rounds are bouncing off the hospital ship next door. They took him out full auto. So I've heard. This is secondhand. And then when we got there, everyone's like, Mayo's dead, and let's go back to the kennel. So the NCIS took over the scene, and they had cleared the guy drove in on a semi. So that was my rude awakening to the Navy. Probably been there 3 months. I couldn't even drive the police car. Someone else had to drive the police car because, they didn't have the police qual for driving qual. But I guess the crux of the story was Mayo wasn't wearing his body armor. It wouldn't have helped him. But so that caused the CO to get a letter of reprimand. The security officer got fired, and everyone got demoted, and basically everything was fucked up in Norfolk. When I just got there, so it was broken when I got there, and so they bring in some live to take over the department, and then I left when things were sorting itself out. But it was 3 years of good duty, I'd say. Short duty is short duty. Picked orders to Diego Garcia. The detailer was like, "Where do you want to go?"
Wait,
And I'm like, I was thinking Diego Garcia.
how the hell would you do that?
And he hung up on me. I call him back. He's like, hi. I'm like, hi, Petty Officer Rubash. He's like, yeah, you're going to Diego Garcia. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I'm your detailer. And he was shocked because he just had a gap billet that had happened. And so he was stoked that someone actually wanted to go there. And have you been to Diego?
I have twice.
You have? Oh,
I've only seen it on episodes of NCIS.
paradise, man.
That's so rough.
Absolute paradise. This letter is actually from the Brit Rep. So this is
I think we're going to Diego Garcia, Flake.
yeah, it's a volcanic atoll, 13 or 15 miles long, not even a mile wide, just a ribbon of sand out in the middle of the Indian Ocean. And I OTEP there. I was having such a good time. They treat you like a man out there pretty much. You get more responsibility. There's no cell phone, so they can't call you in on duty. It's very laid back. There's no deployments out of there, so you're stuck there.
How's the PX?
It's doable. But, it's funny because the Filipinos, they know everyone who works at the PX, so they know when the vegetable shipments are coming in. And they're the best cooks. So they come in and they steal all the fresh vegetables. Not steal, they pay for it, of course. And then And then as soon as when the ship pulls in, then they invite all the sailors to the Filipino area. And if you're good with the Filipino mafia, they throw you a hell of a party. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Diego Garcia can't can't say a bad word about it, other than the people and some of the people I worked with. But I got medevaced out of Diego Garcia. Someone fell on my leg, so I got 2 free weeks in Japan. And so then 2 years later, I was watch commander. I was armory. I worked in the armory for a little bit, so I did stuff outside of my job, K9. And the reason I did that is because someone, the detailer, I didn't tell the detailer that I OTEP, so they'd already given my billet away. So I was like, well, it's fine. I'll just do whatever I do. And then after Diego Garcia, straight to Japan, COVID hit, got mastered in Japan, then got out of it, suspended bust, and then transferred to Bahrain with a deployment order in hand already.
Nice.
So check into Bahrain, go through first dog, bad, terrible dog. It was a puppy. And I'm like, Chief, you want me to deploy with a puppy? And this guy was later relieved from his command, relieved as kennel master, because just lack of confidence. And I said, Chief, you want me to deploy with a puppy? And I didn't know what the deployment to UAE was all about. It's basically sit on your ass and do nothing. But as a forward deployed asset, I wanted a good dog. So I said, hey, Chief, give me this old dog that knows the smell of what we're looking for, bombs. And he's like, I concur, Rubash. And so so I certified on 3 dogs in 30 days. First dog was Mirko, the oldest dog in the kennel, hair falling out. But this dog had the best nose I'd ever seen. My coworkers, this is all guesstimation, but they switched his urine at the vet office. So my dog was considered medically ineligible to deploy because magically the dog developed a kidney problem, which later dissipated, completely bullshit. So I certified on another dog. Well, I'm ready to go. Like, my deployment's now delayed. Take my dog to the vet. I didn't let anyone touch my dog after that because I didn't trust any of these motherfuckers. And the vet looks at my dog's eye, and it had developed a German Shepherd related eye infection. So now my second dog is not deployable, but I still have deployment orders. So then the kennel master's like, well, take Anka. So I'm like, I deploy that night. I do one problem with her, one detection problem, then do the certification, and then deploy like the next day to UAE. And I was one of 2 guys there. Well, as soon as I get there, I get COVID.
Oh, shit.
And we were not supposed to be out in town for the first 15 days, but we were just shopping, getting, like blankets for our beds, etc. And that was sort of in Dubai. Yeah, Dubai. So then we went out to dinner one night. So I'm drinking orange juice, feeling like the onset of COVID, and I had been vaccinated, sadly, and I get COVID. And so now I go to the hotel for a 15-day quarantine. As soon as I get to Dubai, and they're trying to, like, hey, Rubash, how'd you get COVID? I'm like, I don't know. And so then I start running every day, getting back in shape. I was in pretty good shape. I was trying to train for a marathon, and Diego Garcia was like PT heaven. He could run and bike and everything. And then the point, what?
There's nothing else to do there.
There's nothing else to do. Yeah, say you either leave there a hunk, a chunk, or a drunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. That's what the XO said to me, when I was doing check-in. Yeah, hunk, chunk, or drunk. Or the third one was a monk. The fourth one was a monk. Like people that just sit there and read, or they don't do anything, which I did all of that, except for I wasn't a chunk. I was a hunk, I was a drunk, and I was a monk. And a monk. Not a drunk. I mean, everyone drank a little bit, but the Diego Garcia, I go back and tell stories about the Royal Marine Commandos. Those guys are awesome. Just amazing. So I'm in Dubai, and I'm working out with my first class, who's like this Viking, tatted up first class, who'd been to expeditionary, and I lifted weights in college, etc. He was into lifting weights and steroids and all this shit. And I guess I put 400 pounds on the bar and started squatting again for the first time. It didn't feel right. And deployment went well. Scuba diving in the Dubai Mall, fish tank with the shark tanks.
What was that? Was that the Millennium Mall?
It's just called the Dubai Mall. I started dating. Oh yeah. That's the the other mall,
Yeah.
Mall
Mall of the
Genera
Millennia.
or something like
Yeah,
Mall
something like
Millennia
that. Yeah.
Genera. Yeah, yeah. They have two big malls.
So you went to the diving pool thing?
Yeah, no, I'm a certified dive master during college and
Dude,
pre-college.
his dive experience is going to be piece of cake. I don't have to do shit for him. Jake, on the other hand, we're going to have to watch him because
Yeah, worried about that.
he's never dove before.
Is this just a discovery dive? Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I started dating an Emirates Air stewardess, one of those the Emirates girls in Dubai from Emirates. Yeah, no shit. I dated her for like 3 months too. She was my date to my brother's wedding. Yeah, yeah. That's funny. Yeah, but you should have seen her apartment. It was covered in just every place she had been. She grabbed a trinket or something. So it was just incredible. Really nice girl. And the first date, I couldn't tell her what I did, so she thought I was in the CIA.
Shit.
It was funny. Good times. I'm dating someone now, so I don't want to get into that. But my chick is. I'm very happy with my chick. Very lucky. And then got back from deployment, and everything fell apart. I thought I was having a nervous breakdown. I thought I was having alcohol withdrawals or something because my arm was shaking, and that was the symptoms of my neck that was broken. And go to doc. I go to my chief first. My chief, I think I need to go to medical. She took one look at me. She said, "You go to medical." And the doc did an x-ray, found 2 broken bones, then CT scan, then next day MRI, then came back from the MRI and sat down. I had heard about limited duty, and this 04 lieutenant commander is like, "You need to go limited duty, don't you?" And I said, "What's limited duty?" And he's like, "We need to get you healed up because you're deployed right now and you can't be, you're overseas. You can't be broken when you're overseas." They cut me limb duty orders to Jacksonville, and I sat in the supply locker for a month and a half. While my orders were cut. It took that long, but I had a great time in supply in Bahrain. Just reorganized everything. Didn't do shit. Took care of things. Worked with the
Don't
former.
fly without supply.
Don't fly without supply. The one I guess so many stories about that. One of the guys they made do the male had pulled out his pistol and shot a gun into the like he had a negligent discharge.
He had a desk pop.
Yeah, he did a desk pop. So they made him a hull technician. Fleet, do you know what hull technicians do? You might want to look it up, but they sit in the shit tanks of the ships. So don't pull out your gun and shoot it if you're not allowed to shoot it, because they will make you literally shovel shit in the Navy.
I didn't even know they had that job. I had no idea.
There's someone that cleans the poop chute.
Somebody's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. They when they tell you about being a hull technician, because I was friends with one of these guys at Norfolk, and I was like, "Dude, you're a hull technician?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm a welder." I'm like, "Is that what they tell you do?"
That's funny, man. Holy shit.
Yeah. It was good. It's been a good time. But so then Naval Air Station Jacksonville, I worked in the drone shop. Probably went to 300 medical appointments in a year and a half, and then got 100%, baby. 100%. Little butthurt they didn't let me do one of those like last calls for the police stations. I requested that, but by that time I was on the police chief's bad side. So what? Yeah. Oh yeah. What a prick. I'm gonna go back and request it someday.
What was your total time in the Navy?
9 years, 9 months, and 13 days.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
9 years, 9 months, 13 days, and they didn't give me credit for OCS. But 9 years, 9 months, 13 days.
9 years. That's
So
really
almost hit the 10-year mark. I couldn't apply for another 10-year stripe or what it's. I was 2 weeks away from getting another overseas service star, or 2 months or something like that. But I got the GWAT E with two stars, with 1 star. So I got it twice. But yeah, I loved it. Whenever I was in Bahrain, people were like, "Hey, what do you do?" I'm like, I'm a day trader, because I started investing in crypto and Bitcoin and Ethereum and trading stocks. I started following Nancy Pelosi stocks. Stock trading.
sorry.
You can't lose, man. You can't lose.
I'm sorry. I don't like that woman.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you're going to do stocks, she's the perfect one to follow.
Yeah. She is the one to follow.
That's good.
She's better than Warren Buffett.
Yes.
Actually, I bought Tesla on Thursday. It's up 19.1%.
Wow.
Yeah.
We need to get you in touch with Lieutenant Matthew Wiz Buckley, one of our interviewees,
Yeah.
the Top Gun pilot. He's in Florida. He's in Boca Raton. You should definitely. He's a very good trader. He talks about that all the time on his podcast, No Fallen Heroes. His if you need an introduction, I will do. We got his numbers, both of
I'd
us.
like that. I'd like that.
good.
My sister's currently dating of 7 years. One of those guys who's got the Series 7 license and trades commodities and shit. So I've spoken with him, but
Wiz is so good. He's got 2 jets.
And a Porsche.
that's awesome. 2 jets and a Porsche. That's
He,
all you need.
he flew his plane to Murfreesboro 2 years ago. He was just here for like an hour, and then he had to go like wherever the hell he was going. But like it was really cool. Like me and Fleek were there, and
Yeah.
Paulie Freeman. It was really cool.
Flying's addictive. I was going for my private.
Yeah, you just got your license, right? Or you
No,
flew solo.
no. So I have 77 hours on Cessnas, and I was right about to take my check ride for my private pilot's exam. And I was talking to the flight doc, and he messed with my medical record somehow. So what he said he said, I need to review your medical record, so you can't get your class 2. And then when I had my first neurological visit after the Navy, so I've been out for 2 years and I hadn't seen a doctor, so I was like, I need to get a clean slate. And I was describing my symptoms, so she ordered a full battery, and they found a cyst in my brain, and that means I cannot fly anymore. So I can't be an airline pilot. So I wasted 70 grand flying, basically.
Okay,
But it was fun.
You can still dive, right?
Oh yeah, I actually spoke with a dive surgeon about that.
Okay.
I called my Navy diver buddy. I said, "Hey, I need to talk to the dive surgeon about it." And I told him what I have, and he said, "You're fine." But I guess because if you have something in the the FAA is a little more serious than recreational diving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole point of flying is to make money flying. If you can't make money flying, flying's fucking expensive. Excuse my language. Unless you have 2
Dude,
jets.
seriously, man, you already said motherfucker on this show. You don't need to say excuse my language. Man, you shipmates and your foul mouths. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you want to tell a story? You want me to tell a story how I met?
No. Like for everyone at home, Bradley and I, like we've been saying we're in the same fraternity, the Zeta Phi, which is,
Tau Kappa Epsilon.
Tau Kappa Epsilon. We were probably the biggest fucking drinkers at Rollins College.
The true animal house.
We were the true animal house. We got our house from the X Club, and they're all about drugs, and they ruined their house. And one of my seniors, he swept in, got the house for us. And it's right, like, if you go to Winter Park, you go to Rollins College, you go down Aloma, you take that right on the whole
first
avenue.
thing you see is the house.
It's right there. And it's a beautiful house. It's 3 stories. It fits like 35 brothers in there.
4.
It's 4. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I lived in the tower.
The tower. Well, hey, when we got in trouble, they closed that shit off.
Yeah.
But Bradley, I met him, and he's going to tell you about the first time that we met each other.
Yeah. Yeah. So between the first time and the second time we spoke was 20 years. So the day of the first convocation, or whatever they call it, commencement.
Yeah, so commencement, convocation, something like that. Yeah.
Commencement of Rollins. Everyone's on campus for the first time, and the freshmen are there the day before the seniors get there, I guess, or maybe a week prior, something like that. And I'm getting the lay of the land. I was living in McKean Hall. McKean, yeah.
That was my freshman year dorm, by the way.
Mine too. I was on the very first floor next to the large generator.
Third floor.
Third floor is awesome. And so, I knew I wanted to rush a fraternity, and I was already a member of the swim team, so that's like your own fraternity. And it was between Teak 8 and ATO, Alpha Tau Omega. One of my swim buddies was an ATO, and there was no Teaks on the swim team, only Chi Size and X Club. I think it was that, yeah. And some of they're X Club. Oh, they were always the nerds whenever I was there. Yeah. But so I'm a little freshman Rubash, quite handsome, quite skinny, not as charismatic. and I go to my very first teak party. I met German Mark, this crazy German guy. That was the first room I went to because the music was right. You know, it wasn't rap. It was like this house techno
It was
German
techno, yeah,
music.
dude. Hey, man,
Yeah,
it's Rollins, it's techno, it's Florida, it's
yeah.
going on.
Black lights are on
I
the
miss that
walls.
shit. Damn, I miss
And
that
he's
shit.
pouring double shots, like they're square shot glasses of Skol or Popov vodka, and he's laying them down, and we're drinking, and I'm just talking, I'm just talking, like I'm so nervous because the teak house looked dangerous. Like it looked fucking dangerous, and I didn't really want to. I didn't want to really rush teak because because I met you, and I was scared shitless. But and so I'm drinking. I'm drinking on the third floor. Go on the second floor. And meet a beautiful girl. One of the sorostitutes, the future. I mean, no, the co-eds, right? One of the co-eds. Beautiful
One of the
co-ed.
co-eds.
One of the co-eds, yeah. And Brad's feeling pretty good about this, and I'm like, hey, we should probably go back to my dorm room, and she's like, absolutely, we should, and I'm like, great. And I don't know. I had all the very, very socially. I was in, but I didn't know it, right? And so I'm walking down Teak's steps, and all the way down the steps, holding hands with this chick. She's on my left side, and I'm chatting her up, and she's laughing at my jokes. And all of a sudden, as I'm walking out the door of Teak, I feel her hand pull away from me. And I turn around and I see you shirtless sitting on the steps, and you have now positioned the girl I was with on your lap. And you know the girl's name, right? We know we don't need to say the name. Yeah. And you were like, hey, baby, good to see you again, or whatever. And I look down and I see your Marine Corps Eagle Globe and Anchor on your chest, right? Left. Yeah, let me see it. That's exactly what I saw. USMC. And your Marine Corps reputation precedes you, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
And through the haze of the vodka, I'm doing calculations in my mind of what's going to happen next. Well, I'm look back, and she is now not focused on me at all, and she's looking at you very intently. And I'm like, hey, man. And you're like, you get the fuck out of here. I haven't killed anyone since Ramadi. I just like, and I think I said this, I said, well, I haven't fought any Marines today, so I'm going to leave. Just leave Teak with my tail tucked between my legs.
But hey, you know what? I gotta apologize for cock blocking the shit out of you. I'm so sorry. Hey, that's one of my amends that I have not done yet. I mean, I've gone through I've apologized to everybody, and online, for 50 countries and 62 cities, I'm gonna make it my amends to Bradley Harrison Rubash. I am so sorry for cock blocking you at a Rollins fraternity.
The world wants to know, though. Did you bang?
Well, come on. Really? Do I have to answer that?
Yes.
So, Fleek, Richard was there on an epic weekend. Picture Richard on, so you just got back from fucking Fallujah. And, this shit's all on the news. And what? Richard? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Richard was
I
tight.
graduated in 2001. And so after our first deployment, I got back and I came to visit Rollins because I knew that I still held Rollins deep in my heart, and Teak is the best fraternity ever. And I'm going to say that online right now because
I love this fraternity.
I could have gone to ATO. I could have gone to X Club, but I didn't. Why? Because the brothers at Teak are the best. And we had a diverse. We had stoners, we had drug guys, we had soccer players, we had smart kids, we had the whole gamut. We had all of them. ATO were the jocks. Fidel were the rich kids.
Yep.
Kai Sai, oh my God, are you drinking wine while we're seriously? How classy and Rollins.
How classy.
How Winter Park, Florida of you to be drinking wine on this podcast.
Got to get my tolerance up, man. I'm going to Rollins this weekend.
I got your 6. Okay, you go crazy.
No,
I'm not drinking.
No, I'm not going crazy. I'm gonna be sober-ish, but you know, because we gotta
Dude,
go.
that
But
party, the party at the Grove party on Friday,
oh, I'm gonna
and
get shit.
then that's gonna be off the hook. But
Yeah, that's always a
tea
shit show.
party on Saturday, that's gonna be fucking crazy.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be
It's gonna be
fun.
fun.
And then the Dinky Dock, like the Lake Virginia party.
Mhm.
By the way, if there are any teaks in the area
Yeah.
next weekend,
Brad Rubash is throwing a Dinky
Bradley
Dock
Rubash
a
is
boat
throwing a
party.
party.
Boat party on Lake Virginia. Be there at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
Be at the Dinky Dock, and you know where
And
it
it's
is.
reach out, post it on the comments. Well, this will be If you're here right now,
If you're
get to the
here,
Dinky Dock.
yeah, that's right, because it's
This
gonna
will be in the
yeah.
future. This will be in the future.
We had a great party. No, just kidding.
Yeah, we had a great party. So Richard, that's what happened at Teak, and you know, I wanted to go ATO because my swimmer buddies were all thinking ATO, and they honestly had a better house. I hate to say it.
Porch was great. Shit, the porch
Yeah,
is not there.
they had a hot tub, a porch. They were literally attached to Kappa Delta
Yeah.
and Chi Omega. So they had like this conveyor belt of trim just running in and out.
Because the KDs, as I left, they got hotter.
Yeah, it was fluctuated. It fluctuated. The
I was
top three were
blackballed. I was Dagger Daddy.
Dagger
I was
Daddy.
blackballed from Kappa Delta.
I was Dagger Daddy too.
I
Man.
messed around with way too many Kappa Delta girls.
They told my sister that. So my sister was pledging Kappa Delta, and they pulled her close and they told her stories about their older brother. And I really don't know what stories they told them. Told her, to be honest.
Dude.
But she did not end up staying in that sorority.
I've been
She
trying
left.
to remember the crazy shit I did, and I did a lot.
I was very respectful to all of them.
I don't know. I mean, you know, and my wife, it's funny. My wife was a shot girl at the Blue Room.
Yeah.
She lived in Claremont, Florida, and she was down there while you were there and while I was there. So like it's a crazy coincidence. But she worked like Church Street. She worked like downtown.
Yeah, Blue Room. Yeah, Blue. Or
I'm listening to you guys, you know, talk about your old sword fighting days.
Yeah.
the old sword fighting days.
Well, hey, you know what? It's not as bad as like you're dating someone at Rollins, and I have a similar story, but it wasn't with Bradley. It was with two other of our brothers. I was dating a girl who will remain nameless, and she dumped me, and then I have a threesome with the girl that I just had broken up with, or that she had just broken up with me. So yeah, that was crazy.
We lost our guest.
Where the hell did he go? Bradley, where you going, man?
Sorry, man. Sorry.
We ain't done yet. You ain't off the
No,
hot
I'm not.
seat.
No, I'm not. So that's how I met you. And so Rollins is weird. It does not pledge freshman year or first semester freshman year.
No, you can't. I pledged in the freshman year, my second semester or third semester because we had the J term. Do they still have J term?
I don't. J
The
term
January
is like,
term.
You pledge J term? No. I mean, we wouldn't do. We would only do one pledge class a year, second semester.
Okay.
You know why that is? So they can get your full tuition out of you before you fail out of Rollins.
Yep. Which, by the way, my junior year,
Makes sense.
I had a 1.67 my junior year of Rollins College. I missed like 3 weeks of classes because I lived in a fraternity brother's room and he lived in Elizabeth. Oh, what's the one in the middle? What's the not Elizabeth?
Ward.
What's the one? Ward.
Ward.
Yeah, I lived on the second floor of Ward for 3 weeks, missed 3 weeks of classes, and missed papers, and my dad actually had to come and get me, and I actually had to leave campus for the rest of that semester, and then I came back the next year, and I was on double secret probation. From Rollins College. Yeah. And so I had to take all these really easy classes like history of rock and roll, history of jazz, and I had to take all these classes just to pump up my...
You're lucky, man. You're lucky. But so after that, I met you, was terrified of Teak. I went to one or two of your guys' parties, but then Rush came about, and it was like night and day. I met the first guy who shook my hand was William Barnes, the fourth from Alabama. Yeah, he was the president of the fraternity, who later became my big brother. And in the middle of pledging, I'm like, hey, I met a guy, and he was a Marine. Like, oh yeah, Private Pile, alumni. I'm like, is he here? I thought he wanted to kill me.
Private Pile is my fraternity nickname, by the way, because I looked exactly like
Private
Vincent
Pile.
D'Onofrio in that movie.
Yeah, yeah. And my brother's name was Speedo. My pledge name was Banana Hammock. And pledging was awesome. I eventually became the chaplain. I was the housing senator. So I was a student government organization housing
You were
senator.
SGA too?
Yeah, I was SGA.
Nerd.
Well, no one else wanted to do it, so I was like, resume booster, baby. Here we go.
Wait, so that means you get the big room on the bottom floor, right?
No, that was the hall advisor, residential.
Okay.
The hall bitch.
Jason, he's not calling you the hall bitch, but I guess that's what it's called.
I had extra responsibilities, the house manager, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Rollins. I dated some amazing women, almost married one of them, but it was not meant to be. She was from Slovakia. And then I joined the Marine Corps after that, Marine Corps OCS, and then civilian world, then 10 years in the Navy, and now here I am.
And you look great. You look fantastic, man.
I need to lose 100 pounds.
Dude,
I need to lose 100 pounds.
That advice I gave you the other night, walking and that wine, every once in a while, not every day.
This is a little bit to lubricate the senses. But Fleek, what did you do in the Navy, man?
I was Air Boss Yeoman.
Okay, the AZ.
No, I was on the carrier. I was a yeoman.
What boat were you on, Fleek?
So you were a brown shoe airman?
I don't even know what a brown shoe airman is. What is that? That sounds horrible.
The aviation community wears brown shoes once you make chief.
Yeah. I was in the aviation community, but I was a pencil pusher.
Yeoman.
The Air Boss I wrote out his his reports, and somebody got hurt or we had a sailor die on the flight deck, so I had to write those reports.
And on the greatest ship in the United States Navy, the CVN 70, the USS Carl Vinson, is your baby.
Yes, they're on their way to slap the Houthis around right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
What year's Fleet? What were we saying, Richard?
No, it's just this guy right here, he's being very he's being very humble right now because his boat, we're chasing down the fucking Russians in the Bering Strait in fucking 85. I mean, nobody in this talk right now that we're having has ever done that or got up against the Russians.
No way.
I haven't. I went up against the Iraqis.
The Bering Sea. That must have been
and by the way, Fleet, you are the salt dog because it goes, yeah, because we're boots to you.
Yeah, we're Pogue 1 and Pogue 2. No.
Yeah, we're boots to you. Like
that's what happens when you get old.
Well, I loved it, and I don't regret a thing. The military has given me so many opportunities and allowed me to sort of grow get that master's degree in life, basically.
You do.
And I'm never going back to school. Forget that. I don't need to. There's no reason to.
Good. Go be an entrepreneur, which gets me into our next session.
Not too bad.
Pick a number between 1 and 10, and don't pick 7.
Give me 3. Dale Earnhardt, brother.
Oh, okay. This is perfect, which you were just getting into.
And I would like to say one thing: God first, others second, and I'm myself third. That's why I picked that number.
Okay. Number 3. How did your military? Sorry, Fleet. Go ahead.
You said God first, who second?
Others second, and myself third.
Question number 3. How did your military experience influence your perspective on life and adversity? Because you were just about to get into that.
Yeah, no, the military. If for anyone listening to this crusty old veteran podcast out there in cyberspace, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to serve your country and if you want to accelerate your life in the direction, if you want to go upward and onward and get out of the ghetto or wherever you go, wherever you are, if you want to reinvent yourself, the military is where it's at.
Is he a recruiter?
Don't join the Navy, join the Air Force.
Yeah. No, not the Air Force either.
But no,
either Marine Corps or Navy.
Read the question there, Richard. I forgot. With perspective on life.
How did your military experience influence your perspective on life and adversity?
First of all, the military makes everything seem easy. When you're out in the civilian world, that is the biggest takeaway for me is there's no hard days in civilian life. You want a hard day, you stay on the watch at Naval Station Norfolk at night. You want a hard day, you go to Ramadi, Fallujah. You want a hard day, go to the Bering Sea on the Carl Vinson. in January.
That's
You know,
normal.
that's just normal. And so that perspective change, that sort of paradigm shift that you get from the military, it makes everything greener, the blue's bluer, the sky is more beautiful. It allows you to, in my opinion, have a better perspective on life and international perspective as well, because most Americans have never been around the world. And we do not know how good we have it in the United States of America. And the minute you see someone in Bahrain who's starving, or Ethiopia who's starving, open air meat markets, no hygiene, tin roofs, you know, you get that perspective that America is special. And you know what, too? Every person you meet, when you're an American, you are treated differently. You are something special. And we have it so good in America. And every American should know that. And you get that knowledge only through military service or international travel. And that perspective is invaluable. And it allows you to, in my opinion, get the most out of life. And in my short time on this earth, the best 10 years were in the military, probably. You know, most fulfilling. I had a job, I had responsibilities, and the Navy gives you that to you. You know, you have a responsibility. That's the hardest part about getting out is no one tells you what to do. Now, it's not great to be told what to do because you don't get to pick your bosses either. And they can't fire you in the military, but they can fire you in the civilian world if you tell a boss, hey, boss, let's do it this way because your way sucks.
That's true.
And so I think you should join the military. And that does that answer your question, Richard?
No, dude. That was very heartwarming, man.
Some, because I've seen people starving on the streets. There's a difference between starving in America,
Yeah,
starving in Mombasa. Completely different. It's a different vibe. Like, you can be starving in this country and go find food. I promise you, you can. You're starving in Africa, you're not finding food.
no. You know, there's a story in Vegas. Some farmer buys the food from the casinos, and he has the fattest pigs in the world. From the food from the trash at the casinos. You know, our trash is valuable. I do like that. Have you been to Mombasa? Is that you pull into Mombasa on a port visit? And here's another thing too, recruiting thing. You join the Air Force, you're going to be out in the missile fields in North Dakota. You're going to be in Germany, Alaska, Italy. You join the Navy or the Marine Corps. Our bases are oriented around the beach. So you have much better worldly, is that the word, international assignment locations. If you join the Army, you're going to Germany, Japan, Korea. That's it, pretty much. Or Kuwait. Good luck. Have fun. Join the Navy, see the world. Join the Marine Corps, go kill people.
Hoorah!
When I was in Mombasa, a lady literally tried to give me her newborn baby to take back to America. It broke my freaking heart.
Yeah.
I remember you telling that story.
That 5 minutes changed my total trajectory of my life. It was life-changing.
Yeah. You know, when you have, I mean, going down that road too, I mean, even the suicide thing, you know, I can't tell you how many times my friends have killed themselves. It's more than 5. And, you know, it puts things into perspective. Life is precious.
It is.
And our American way of life is precious. And it's worth defending. And the Constitution is the reason the entire world has hope. Our freedom literally keeps the storm clouds of darkness and oppression from engulfing the world.
That was
Yes.
It's true. Totalitarianism has been kept at bay because of our Constitution countless times. And if you want to be part of that organization, the Department of Defense, there's nothing better if you're able-bodied, which not everyone in America is anymore. If you're able-bodied, sign up. Stand on those yellow footprints at Parris Island.
Don't do that.
Get on the bus to go to boot camp in Chicago.
Great Lakes.
Yeah, that's why we're the TARS. Yeah, I visited. I lived in Baldwin Park, and I saw the old barracks buildings. Now that I know what they
freshman
are.
year. I got there. They were starting to tear it down. That was in '96.
Yeah, it's still there. It was still there in 09. It was
Okay.
still the big concrete building.
Yeah, the big buildings. Yeah,
Yeah, the big building.
because that's where they sent the women, the gompers.
Yeah,
Rules.
the trousers. You know, you get to pick your peers. Who do you want to hang out with, you know, when you're old and crusty? I would much rather hang out with veterans. They're more dependable
And cooler.
and way cooler.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
let's not forget, my drill instructor in Great Lakes, Illinois, his exact words, I fucking hate civilians. My mother was a civilian, and I fucking hate her too.
Damn, who said that?
Your boot camp instructor?
Yep.
No, mine.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I can't remember what mine just was yelling and screaming and get
Oh,
the
yeah.
fuck off my bus. Get on my footprints. Go in
Mhm.
there. Get a shot. Fuck you. I hate you. See you in 13 weeks.
You're unorganized, grabastic pieces of
You
amphibian shit.
unorganized grab ass and pieces of fucking whale shit.
You are not even human fucking beings.
Oh, which, by the way,
It's true.
his birthday was a couple days ago.
Arlie Ermy, I saw it on Facebook. I
And
did
then
see that on
today,
Facebook.
I mean, obviously it's going to be Sunday when you guys see this, but today
His Medal of Honor
obviously
Day.
is Medal of Honor Day. So we got to give it up for Michael Murphy. Let's see, who else from the Navy got a John Kerry? He got a Navy. He got a Medal of Honor.
No, he didn't.
Well, when I saw on LinkedIn, I saw his picture. So
John Kerry got 3 Purple Hearts.
really,
Yeah. He didn't get the Medal of Honor. Didn't George W. Bush's father get wasn't he the Medal of Honor?
yeah.
Let me look that up. George H.W. Bush. I think he maybe won the Navy Cross or a Distinguished George. Yeah. But, you know, I have a boot camp story. My second RDC, HM1, Marine Corps, Greenside, he said he didn't sleep in a bed because he knows what happens. He's 7 children. And if you want to know what it costs to raise a child now from 1 to 18 while you're young and able-bodied, over $100,000 a year almost. You know, and with medical bills and the cost of living is taken care of when you join the Navy or the Marine Corps or the Air Force and the Army, the Coast Guard. You know, there are so many benefits that just are instantly available that are enormously cost saving to you when you join. You don't have to move. They move for you. You know, you don't get to pick all the time where you move, but the benefits are there. And you know what? Civilians, they don't get to choose who they work with, really. If there's someone who's a pain in the dick, you can fire. You can't fire them sometimes you can't always fire them in the civilian world. In the Marine Corps, Army, Navy, Air Force, you can get rid of that person if they're a shitbird.
Yes.
You know, they're through the proper channels, of course, but it's far easier to deal with your coworkers in the military because you know what? Every 2-3 years, you get new coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
And your reputation does follow you through your service. You think that's not true, but it is. You know, people knew about me and judged me before I even got to my command sometimes, which I'm like, hey guys, you know, give me the benefit of the doubt. The stories you've heard are not all true. And I looked them straight in the eyes and I'm like, hey guys, you know, let's do this. And I can go down the negative Nancy stories, but I do have a lot of good stories, but that's for next time.
I got the Navy Medal of Honor Global War on Terrorism, Edward Byers, Michael Mansour, Michael Murphy, and Britt Sablinski.
I mentioned Michael Mansour's name in my canine board, and that's one of the reasons I got canine board, because he was a canine handler.
No, Joseph Carey, not John Kerry, Joseph Carey. My bad.
Joseph Carey.
That was totally my fault. I am so sorry.
Don't be worried.
There were 16 Medal of Honor winners in Vietnam from the Navy.
Don't forget about Jason Dunham.
And, well, Marine Corps. Jason Dunham,
Marine Corps.
Kyle Carpenter, Dakota Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
I met this guy, Major General James Livingston, Marine
Very
Corps, Vietnam. But happy Medal of Honor Day to all recipients. We're with you guys in spirit.
Yep. And to our Victoria Cross British guys as well. Their
right.
Medal of Honor is the Victoria Cross.
Yeah,
If you want to watch an interesting story, the Victoria Cross is also a very interesting medal. Awesome. Guys, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, Bradley, thank you, man, dude. Seriously.
Absolutely, man.
Hoorah. See you guys.
See you next Sunday.